Yo, what's up designers? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy. So if you guys have been following me, you know I talk a lot about money and I talk a lot about Art Center. Art Center is a design school that I really wanted to attend when I was first starting off my design career. And it was a very expensive school. It's a private school, so before I actually wanted to attend, I wanted to save up a good amount of money so that I can really focus on my studies and not have to focus on the financial aspect. Before I was going to a city college and I was also working full-time at the time. Over the course of 3 years, I ended up saving $30,000. And by the end of it all, I really worked hard for that $30,000. And I thought to myself that I just don't want to give this all away to a school. $30,000 was not even going to be anywhere close to how much I actually needed if I were to have attended Art Center. So what I did was I made probably one of the greatest decisions of my life, and I decided to switch to a state school. I decided to go to California State Long Beach, which is a state school, and it's extremely less expensive than going to Art Center. I'm happy where I'm at now, but sometimes I always wonder to myself, where would I have been if I actually did go to Art Center? And after 2 years of graduating and being in the real world and seeing how the world actually works, I can really kind of confirm that I made an extremely great decision to switch and go to a state school. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So I have some numbers here and I want to break it down for any of you guys that are interested in actually going to Art Center or any other prestigious school that's going to cost you a lot of money when it comes to design. Let's just go ahead and jump right here. I have my notes. And I want to talk to you guys about the tuition per term. So if you were to go to Art Center, the tuition is $22,136 per term. So that's a pretty big number, right? 22,000, I'm having a hard time even saying it. $22,136. You know, it's very hard for us to conceptualize even how much money that is, especially if we're 18 and we haven't made that much money. You know, we don't have a concept of it. So I just want to really break down it in certain kind of different ways of viewing the tuition cost so that you guys can kind of digest it a little bit better. Each term is a 3-month period. So it starts in September and ends in December. That's 3 months. And you're going to be paying a total, like I said, of $22,136. So if you break that up per month, you're going to be spending $7,380 per month for those 3 months. Isn't that's ridiculous. Imagine spending $7,380 a month just in tuition. It takes more than just a term. You have to take a total of actually 8 terms in order to go through the whole process and graduate. So that's $22,136 times 8. That will give you a total of $177,088. $177,088 to get your industrial design degree. Compared to me, no debt. No debt. $177,000, guys. That is quite a bit of money that I've saved there by not going to Art Center. With that money that I saved, I could pretty much buy my dream car, an AMG GTR, or perhaps an AMG GTR Pro, and still have an industrial design degree, just like an Art Center graduate. So that $177,088, that's going to be only in tuition. But if you also include things like tuition increases, rent, projects, design supplies, books, and everything else, food, that's definitely going to be well over $200,000, $250,000. But let's just say that you had some scholarships, maybe you had some help from your parents, maybe you had financial aid. Let's just say you're gonna spend at the end of it all around $200,000 that you had to borrow. This is debt that you owe. It's really hard to conceptualize that kind of number. How much is $200,000 really? Imagine this. Let's say you graduated and now you owe $200,000. Now you're paying this back every month. If you paid $500 every single month to pay down this $200,000 debt, it is going to take you over 33 years for you to pay off $200,000 in debt. 33-year, guys, at $500 per month. That's longer than a house mortgage. Let's just say you graduated from Art Center. You have an Art Center industrial design degree with $200,000 in debt. But of course, this is an investment, guys, right? You're not just giving all this money away for nothing. This is an investment in your career. So what I did was I actually looked up how much money the average industrial design graduate makes their very first year. And when I searched it up on Google, what Glassdoor gave me was a number of $65,842. So I would say this number is pretty accurate when I compare my own experience and the salaries that I've heard from some of my students that I graduated with. I would say this number is pretty spot on, but actually I would say it's a little bit more on the higher end. I actually only know a few designers that make $65,000 or more. Most of them make much less than that. But let's just say since you graduated at Art Center, $200,000 in debt, you're making $65,000 a year. Let's just see how the numbers kind of play out. So you make $65,000 a year, but when you make $65,000 a year, when your salary is $65,000 a year, you're not actually taking home $65,000. You got to pay the government. You got to pay these taxes. I would say if you make $65K, you would probably take home, your net pay would be around $45,000. Okay, let's just recap, guys. If you make $65,000 and your take-home pay after taxes is $45,000, let's just say, I don't know if you guys budget and track your expenses, but it's good to see how much you spend every year. I would say for a frugal person, they would spend about $25,000 a year. That's pretty low. I think the average person probably spends about $45,000 a year. Let's just say you are pretty good and you only spend about $35,000 a year, which is not that much, guys. This is money that you spend on just your car, your phone bill, your rent, just regular daily average expenses that you have to pay for. If you spend $35,000 a year, that's subtracted by $45,000, that's only going to leave you $10,000 that you can save for yourself. If you are even saving anything, that's $10,000 that you can save for yourself. But remember I said you were putting $500 each and every month to pay down your $200,000 debt. $500 a month equals $6,000 a year. 10 minus 6,000 is only $4,000 left for you to save and take home. $4,000 is not that much money, guys, especially if later down the line you have plans to perhaps get married, have children, buy a house, perhaps even fund a retirement. That doesn't really leave a lot of money for you to actually do all of those nice things. I would really advise you guys to consider what is going to be the return on your investment when you're deciding to go to Art Center versus going to a state school where you're going to be spending significantly less money. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are probably thinking, Jimmy, but I'm going to Art Center. I didn't go to your crappy Cal State Long Beach State School. I'm going to a very prestigious private school, right? So I should be getting paid more than you. I should be better than the average, and I should be getting paid over $65,000. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're a rock star and you will make well over $65,000 because you do have an Art Center degree. So It was very, very interesting to me when I discovered this study that was referenced by one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Graham Stephan, and he makes some really great financial videos on YouTube. And what he said is that there was a study that was held in 1999 and in 2011. And the people that were running this study was trying to track some of the graduates that graduated from very prestigious Ivy League schools and very similar schools of that level, and compare it to students and graduates that came from non-Ivy League schools, and they wanted to see the correlation between the Ivy League prestigious degrees and their salaries versus the non-Ivy League schools and their salaries. And the findings were very, very interesting. What they found is that there was no correlation to the degree and to how much money they were actually going to get paid. This is a really eye-opening study, and it kind of eliminates that whole misconception that if you go to a more expensive, prestigious school, that you're going to get paid more. So I actually have a very interesting story, and I want to share it with you guys. So one person that I knew from a long time ago, we went to junior high together. He moved away to Canada, but then eventually he moved back into the States. He also decided that he wanted to pursue industrial design. He actually went to Art Center, and I, of course, did not go to Art Center. And it's actually a chat on Facebook chat. I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys this chat. Of course, this is a very, very old chat. This was when, I think, all the way back in 2013-ish. So it's gonna be a long time, but I think this is gonna be a very interesting chat to read, just because it kind of shows the thought process of what I was going through and why I decided not to go to Art Center, and the thought process of him wanting to go to Art Centers. So everything that I say is in blue, and everything my buddy says here is in gray. Cal State Long Beach has a pretty good design school, but it's just really long, cheap compared to Art Center. I want to go there though, there meaning Art Center. I think it's possible. Need to apply for scholarships, but I want the best. So he's saying he wants the best. He wants, the best school that industrial design can offer. Then I say, will you get a bunch of loans? Meaning obviously my concerns of trying to figure out a way to fund this Art Center degree. Or do you have a lot saved up? And my buddy says, maybe, just a few, we'll see. So we can really see his mindset here. He's not really thinking too deep into how much he's actually going to pay. Have you done art or design before? A bit. I've only done a handful of classes, like 2 to 3, but every time, not even being cocky, I'm just leagues beyond my colleagues. There's not challenge. Need to go somewhere that can provide that. So my buddy is looking for a place that can really push him and go to a high-level school that can give him that challenge. But I think he's missing that cheaper school can also be as challenging as going to a very expensive school, and I would say Cal State Long Beach was very, very challenging indeed, with extremely high competition. After this term, I should have 2 to 4. So what my buddy means is 2 to 4 projects. I want a lot for that scholarship. So he's trying to build up his portfolio of projects so he could submit it and get scholarships. That's what he's hoping for in order to pay for Art Center. And what I'm thinking that is, even though I might get scholarships, I always thought, how much is it going to be to really chip away at that $200,000? Even if they gave me $30,000, I still have to pay $170,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they gave me such a great scholarship, it's still not even going to be enough. So I continue by saying, would scholarships be provided by Art Center themselves? That and FAFSA. Any idea on how much financial aid you would receive? You guys kind of see the kind of questions I'm asking here in my mindset. I'm really focusing on how he's actually going to pay for it and how much they're actually giving him. I personally was very concerned on how much they were going to give me, and I just never thought it was going to be enough. So he continues by saying, like, 95% of students are on financial aid, which I would say, definitely. It's only if your parents make extreme amounts of money, you won't get any financial aid. But I would say a lot of students do get financial aid. Dunno, depends on how good you are, lol. When it comes to scholarships, yeah, but for financial aid, usually is just from your need. So again, like I said, scholarships probably could be based on how good you are. You submit, they pick you, they like you, they give you the scholarship. But for financial aid, it usually depends on how much your parents make. I always wondered how much they would give me since I'm getting a free ride here. Here meaning Cal State Long Beach. Yeah, sick. Yeah, I want a free ride to Art Center. Man, if you do, that would be crazy. It's still like $17K a term, yeah? My buddy says, LOL, try double that. And this is pretty funny. My response is, no way, you kidding. Like, I literally just couldn't believe it. So my friend continues by saying, calculated like give or take $200,000 to $240,000 for 2.8 years. And he's talking about 8 terms. And I'm just like, meme face. Okay, and then I continue by saying, and yet you still went for it. But I want the best. So you guys got to remember the point why I'm reading you guys this is because I want you guys to understand the mindset of where I'm coming from and why somebody would want to go to art center. So again, my buddy says he wants the best. You crazy is what I'm thinking. I don't like half-assing and I want a good scholarship. Coming from one of the toughest majors in North America, I better make up for it by going to the best design school. I respond by saying it's more of really how good you get personally too. There are some very successful people that have come out of my school. So that's my response. I think what he's trying to get here is that he thinks that going to a cheaper, non-private, non-prestigious school is half-assing it. And personally, that's definitely not the case, guys. But I don't know, maybe it's true, but I would definitely always choose being debt-free any day. So I think some time passed with this chat and it continues on by saying, that's awesome. Are you still trying to get those scholarships? Yeah, I want at least half a scholarship, but we'll see. So now he kind of settled for a half scholarship, whereas before he was mentioning he wanted a full scholarship, getting the best and all that stuff. And it kind of settled down to, I just want a half scholarship. So I continue by saying half meaning around 8K. Again, me being specific with the numbers. Something like that, 8K per term. So I continue to probe him by asking, so what are you going to do about the other AK? Work? Probably loans, and I have some money in a college fund. Oh, there goes those loans, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't quite have enough in those college funds. And it's going to continue on moving towards the future. I kind of followed up on him. We didn't really keep in touch too much, but this is around last year, 2018, and I go ahead and I just see how he's doing. I ask him, yeah, I like it so far. Where were you able to get all your financial stuff figured out? I remember seeing in a crowdfunded thing for you before. So what I'm getting at here is that one day I was just hanging out on Facebook and I stumbled across an Indiegogo for my buddy here because he was having trouble paying for his bills, and an Indiegogo is essentially asking for people that you know to donate a little bit of money to help out your cause. Thanks for asking. Yeah, dude, ended up having to take multiple terms off and then interning for like a year and a half. Yeah, my girlfriend made that Indiegogo and it helped me get through one term. So this here was very interesting information. What I always thought was that he was going to graduate way before me because Art Center, it was only going to be 2.5 years for 8 terms total, but it turned out to be much longer than mine. I had a 5-year program, so I thought I was going to graduate way later than him, but it turned out that I graduated earlier than him and of course paying much less. So I continue by saying, that's nice of her. Hopefully all is good now. When do you think you'll graduate? Yeah, it's really helped out. It's good now. I saved a lot and sacrificed my living situation for a while. I'm graduating in the fall. So that was a chat with me and my buddy, guys, and I hope you guys learned the different mindsets of a person deciding to go to Art Center and a person like myself who didn't decide to go to Art Center. He wanted the best and he wanted to get really challenged, and he thought that going to a very high level prestigious school was going to give that to him. But as we can see, what ended up turning out was that a lot of the financial burden was too much to where he had to take semesters and terms off in order to pay for it all and actually end up finishing graduating. Imagine if he didn't finish. He's going to have a lot of debt still and no degree. That would have really been really bad. With this video, I'm not trying to put Art Center down at all. Art Center is an incredibly great school. It's definitely one of the best design schools that you can go to, but of course you're going to pay for it. But I have to really thank Art Center just because it really opened my eyes the very first time I heard of Art Center. I wanted to go there for car design, and I thought, wow, this is a possibility that I can do. This is perfect for me. I always drew. I always loved making stuff, and I always loved cars. I saved up that $30,000 because I was so committed to go to Art Center, and eventually I just realized that it just was too much money for me and I just couldn't afford it. From there, I made that switch to go to Cal State Long Beach and to study industrial design. And without Art Center, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to the place where I am today. So I got to really thank Art Center for that. And what I just want to say is that if you can afford Art Center, go ahead and go there. You know, I know a lot of students that can go there and they are successful and they do really awesome, beautiful, amazing things. And so I'm not trying to put Art Center down at all if you guys kind of got that vibe. I just really want you guys to get the information, the proper financial information, because I know that sometimes you can't really find a lot of that and your parents don't really know too much about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, financial education definitely needs to be a bigger thing, and that's why I'm making this video today. All right, guys, if you enjoyed videos like these, definitely leave me a comment down below letting me know. If you learned something in this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button and also share these videos with anybody that might help them out as well if they're considering going to Art Center. All right, guys, that is about it. My name is Jimmy, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.